Yes, guys, what's happening? This is your review for Nottingham Forest 1, Liverpool 1. Unfortunately, more points dropped for Liverpool in this title race. I'm here to delve into it in this video. I mean, where do I start? I thought the performance was really good. Honestly, I thought we dominated the game from start to finish, especially in the second half. And we should have done more, you know, in terms of putting our chances away, honestly. But yeah, the first half doesn't start really well after 8 or so minutes. Chris Wood finishes from Elanga's through ball. It just caught us off guard completely. I thought we started the game well, like I said. And we took so many shots in the first half. They were quite wayward. Didn't hit the target once, which was disappointing in the first 45 minutes. In terms of the lineup, I was happy with it. Szoboszlai came back. I mean, we know how important he has been for us in the last few weeks, particularly when we've missed him in those games, against Man United in particular. But honestly, that's back-to-back draws for the second time, which isn't good enough for Liverpool. Honestly, right now, obviously, looking at the table, it feels good. I mean, we're still top of the league. We still have firm control of this title race, but it is frustrating, to drop more points. Obviously, I don't want to take anything away from Nottingham Forest. I thought that they defended well. They're having a brilliant season. And had they beaten us, who knows? They might have been dreaming about potentially challenging for the title, but obviously they are not a title threat. Their aim is just to get into the top four, if not the top six. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought, like I said, we played really well in this game, but we should have done more to win, in terms of our chance conversion, But I have to shout out Arne Slot for this one. As soon as Jota and Tsimikas came on, within 20 seconds, they combined for the goal. Tsimikas whips it in and Jota heads it brilliantly. And then from that moment, I'm thinking Liverpool are definitely going to go on and win this game. But unfortunately, that didn't turn out to be the case. I mean, we've got to pick things up quickly, I have to admit. Like I said, this is the second time we've drawn back-to-back. Obviously, on reflection, it's not a bad point. Obviously, from the outside, rival fans will say, oh, it's a very good point. But Liverpool fans won't really. Some will say it's a good point, but for me, it's 2 points dropped. Had we beaten Manchester United, I would have looked at this game and thought a point away from home against this Forest side isn't bad. They're overachieving. They look really solid. But for me, genuinely, the result was the only bad thing about this game because I thought we played brilliantly. So moving forward, I'm not really worried about the title. I do think we will win it. I can't imagine anything else but a Liverpool title win. I can't even imagine it, to be fair, because the teams behind us are just not good enough. Arsenal obviously got this North London derby coming up against Spurs. I'm expecting Arsenal to win, if not maybe a draw, but they will drop more points. They've got injuries. They're not doing well at the moment. They're in a bit of a bad patch right now, but it's frustrating. We're continuously letting them off the hook when we should be 8 points, 9 points, 10 points clear with that game in hand. But as I said, the performance was very good from Liverpool. And yeah, now the Brentford game becomes incredibly important on Saturday. They drew 2-2 against City, came back from behind in that game. Nordgaard with an equaliser. Foden scored a brilliant brace for City. Just a quick roundup. Chelsea drew as well, 2-2 against Bournemouth. 5 games without a win for Enzo Maresca's team. But back to Liverpool, we just simply have to do better, man. I mean, it hasn't been a good January so far, 1 win in 4, and that 1 win came against Accrington Stanley in the FA Cup, which you would fully expect, So I don't want to count that one too tough, but we've got to do better in the next game, in terms of our chance conversion. I would start Jota in front in that game. Obviously, the Diaz false 9 experiment has worked, to some degree. He's hat-trick against Bayer Leverkusen. I thought he was brilliant against West Ham, but I'm pretty sure Slot will analyse the game and make sure that he doesn't use Diaz as a number 9 in every game, of course. Jota now has 2 in 2, and I would expect him to start alongside Salah and Gakpo. In terms of Mo, I thought he had another poor game, but obviously he's got a great reputation. He's been incredible this season, but just the last few, we're showing a bit of weakness in terms of our results. we're not attacking as freely as we should, or maybe it's just a chance conversion, really. But all in all, I do expect Liverpool to go on and win this league. Like I said many times before, we might not do it the easy way. It might have to be done the hard way. But as I said, looking at our rivals, I mean, the only team for some time that you would argue could be in a title race was Arsenal, and things are not looking good for them at the moment. And as I said earlier, I would not be surprised if they drop points in the North London derby or against Unai Emery's Aston Villa, who seem to have a good record against Arsenal of late. In terms of my concerns about this Liverpool team, I mean, I've said it for a number of weeks. We do need a centre-back. Konate doesn't particularly look match fit. Obviously, he has admitted himself that he kind of rushed back to help the team, which is admirable. But obviously, we don't want to lose him for a long time. Again, you know, he was out for a month after getting injured against Real Madrid. Hopefully, Gomez will be back soon. Obviously, in terms of Robertson, his level has dropped. That's quite clear. Some fans obviously want him replaced, which I completely understand. But in my opinion, we don't need to do that in this January transfer window. Maybe at the end of the season, we can evaluate. Tsimikas is more than good enough to push him for that left-back spot. He had a great impact yesterday. Came on, brilliant delivery for Diogo Jota to head in the equaliser. But like I said, man, all in all, I'm still very much calm in terms of this title race. But in the heat of the moment, I wasn't. I can't lie. It was 2 points dropped, and it still is. You know, I'm not going to look at this result and say, on reflection, it's a good point. None of that. It's 2 points dropped without a shadow of a doubt. And I really hope we can put things right against Brentford on Saturday. Just looking ahead in terms of our fixtures, Brentford on Saturday, absolute must-win game. Tricky game, obviously, but not as tough as Forest, you know, and it's not a big game in particular, so we have to win. It's a big game in terms of importance, but that's a fixture Liverpool should be winning all day long. After that, we've got Lille in the Champions League. You know, some may look at it as a dead rubber, but I still personally want us to go a little bit strong and win that game, make it 7 out of 7. I feel like we're one win away anyway from topping the Champions League group, and then we can sort of rest a lot of players in the final game against PSV Eindhoven. Obviously, after Lille, then we've got Ipswich at home. Has to be a banker, that one. That has to be a win. Bournemouth will not be easy. They've not lost for a while. We play them at the start of February. And then obviously the Merseyside derby is around the corner. That has now been scheduled for Wednesday, the 12th of February, 7:30 kickoff. So that's the rescheduled game at Goodison. You know, David Moyes is back, so either way, it's not going to be an easy derby, but one I fully expect us to win at the same time. But yeah, Liverpool just need to get their act together, you know. The last few weeks just hasn't been good enough, you know. Since the end of the year, basically, you know, since that draw against Manchester United, suddenly we're enduring a bit of a blip ourselves. We lost the first leg to Spurs. We were always going to win the FA Cup third round tie, you know, against lower league opposition to advance to the next round. But we've got to do a lot better. But I'm more than happy with a lot of our players. You know, Virgil, consistent as ever, classy as ever. You know, Gravenberg, McAllister. Most of them are playing really well. Honestly, I don't know what it is. I just think our attack has dried up a little bit. But this happens. You know, this Premier League was never going to be easy. You know, we were never going to run away with it. I want Liverpool fans to understand that this isn't just going to be a walk in the park, you know, like it was 4 years ago when we won it in 1920. You know, it's a different team. The league is a lot stronger as well, you know. I mean, there is no given that you're going to get 3 points, you know, unless you're playing Southampton, maybe. So, yeah, man, let me know in the comments what you think, who stood out for you. Do you still think Liverpool will win the title? Do you think Arsenal have a glimmer now? I personally don't, I'll be honest. You know, I think from what I've seen from Arsenal, as I've said many weeks ago, they just don't have the minerals or the mentality to win the league. They have the quality. They've shown it in the last few seasons, but they can't get over the line, and they're not even in a position to really even push us at this point. So let's see what they do in their 2 home games in this week. The Spurs game, like I said, I expect them to edge that one 2-1. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they drop some points. And then they've got Aston Villa after that. So we've got no excuses. We just got to bounce back against Brentford at the G-Tech Community Stadium on Saturday afternoon and get the 3 points, and all is forgotten, because we don't want to let this become a mini crisis or a really bad blip. Drawing 3 games in a row would be unacceptable at this point. So yeah, I'm still confident, I'm still positive, but like I said, sometimes the truth needs to be spoken. Lately, we haven't been on it really. So yeah, obviously on the face of it, Forest away, getting a point there isn't bad. But considering, like I said, considering we drew Man United at home, we flopped that one. It is a bad point. It's 2 points dropped. So we need to get back on track, and I'm more than confident we will. In terms of the channel, I will be hoping to upload more videos. I wanted to do a review on the Spanish Super Cup game between Barcelona and Real Madrid the other day. I just didn't get the time, unfortunately. But Barcelona, just to quickly touch on that, were amazing. They cooked Real Madrid again. Big concerns there for Carlo Ancelotti's men, 5-2. I mean, they conceded 9 goals to Barcelona in 2 games. But yeah, I'll be touching more on that on another video. But just to summarize, Liverpool, get your act together, man. We're much better than this. We've just got to show that form we showed at the start of the season. And maybe this is our blip, At the end of the day, every team has it, whether you are leading the table or you're around the bottom, it's never going to be easy. But I fully expect Liverpool to bounce back starting on Saturday against Brentford, hopefully, inshallah, But let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.